So I'm really excited because this is my first live video I've ever done on the channel, a live review. I just watched the new WandaVision live with you guys. It's 3 a.m. It starts here on the East Coast, so right now it's like almost 4 in the morning. But I am super hyped to do this. I had to do it for this because now we're actually getting into the third act of this show, and you can see now clearly that it was broken up into three acts, with the first act really being that Wanda and Vision didn't really understand what was happening, and then we got the middle patch of episodes where they're slowly learning, and then we knew now with these next three we're in the final act here. And that last episode we got Vision and Wanda now starting to really become aware of what's going on. But there's a lot of feelings I have, mixed feelings about this episode, because I've loved everything since episode 4. I really like the first three, but then this one kind of brings me back down a bit towards the first three area. It's still a little better than that, but I have a couple frustrations. I think first it has to be with how they kind of handled Darcy Lewis in this episode and her relationship to Vision in this episode, because Darcy was kind of annoyingly super casual about everything with Vision here. Because the second Vision brought her and snapped her out of this modern family mask here of Darcy, she kind of is just chill about everything, and she continues being the plot bot of this show. Just, it's such a simple transfer of information for her to Vision to just kind of catch him up on everything. So it felt a little lazy writing wise, and I feel like there still could have been more showing and clever reveal to really finally hit the nail into how Vision would kind of really get aware of everything, because he's pretty much there at this point. And then I think the stronger side of this episode clearly was with the Wanda stuff and the huge reveal at the end here, which has been theorized by a lot of people about Agnes being Agatha, and it was Agatha all along. I really like how it ended on that with her saying, "And I killed the dog Sparky too." And what was really cool was that they showed those quick little clips from Agatha's perspective, and we switched the focus now on her putting all these illusions she can do as a witch. And it was cool seeing her. It showed she was the director of the Modern Family style, and she was the one that says literally to Wanda, "Do you think it's what you deserve about what's happening around her?" That was like your big hint, like who said that? And it's been Agnes. And that was cool. And it also was good they showed the scene from last week where she was like snapped out by Vision, but she was only putting on an act. Like, she was fine the whole time. She just knew what to do there. So that's just classic witch villain type stuff. So I did like that reveal. Obviously, Kathryn Hahn's the perfect one to play a villain like that. I still hope, though, there's a bigger villain, even bigger than Agnes here, that's still, everyone's got their theories about what's going on with Dottie. We haven't seen her in a couple of episodes. I think we got a glimpse of her for a second here, but I still think there is one more faction to this. But it's really interesting with Agnes because, yeah, you see her motivation about constantly pushing them having children was from the start to get super powered kids. And that's there with Billy and Tommy. And really interesting that Billy says to Agnes, it's basically all just empty when he's like reading her mind. Like, what's up with that? And that's another hint. Like, this is just this cold witch here. So that was really cool. And then we get now with Monica, everyone's kind of waiting for her to get her superpowers. It's been hinted now because she's already gone through the hex twice. So then they do this space rover thing that just fails, but she decides to just go in. I really like that sequence of her running through the hex, and then it's like, okay, now she's really getting these powers, and it's going to be interesting because now it's going to put that protagonist of this story, Monica Rambeau, to have a good kind of power that she needed here to stand up to Wanda, and now she can help Wanda like she's wanted to this whole time against this Agnes type who has Wanda in her trap in this basement. I love when they change the aspect ratio of the frame here, and that happens when Wanda's realizing what's going on, goes downstairs to like this witchy lair, and Agnes has the kids. So that's an exciting cliffhanger, and knowing now we only have 2 episodes left, and like I was saying, like these last 3 episodes is like the third act of the show's story. Now they've really set up that, I believe, from what we've seen in the trailers, this moment where Wanda's looking at the Infinity Stone, that we're going to get this flashback episode with Wanda and what kind of fills in the spaces of what happened with her, how she came across Agatha, maybe again ending next week with an even bigger reveal of there's another piece to this puzzle and how this all really became and happened. But I think knowing that this was like the Modern Family episode, then you go to next week where it's going to probably be a flashback, so you can have time for the finale to just be okay, now it's resolving everything, climax, a lot of action. So we'll see. But like I said, I think that there's things that really worked here, like the show's always worked, but even the beginning of this episode was really dark stuff they were writing with Wanda and how she didn't really care about anything and the way she was talking to her kids. But it was smart, again, how well they blend and use the theme of, let's say, Modern Family this episode to just kind of cover it so it doesn't look as bleak. So really just awesome on that part. But I do think this episode kind of dragged its feet a bit, especially because a lot of this information we already kind of progressed last week. And I feel like I said, last week was this big transitional episode and the catalyst to get things going now. And I think this one really, at the end of the day, was just Monica getting her powers, which we kind of knew was coming. They kind of handed us that. And the Agnes reveal, I could feel like people could be a little disappointed by it because it's been predicted since literally episode 1, but we got to be careful because I think everyone's just getting really good at predicting stuff now. And like I said, with the Reddit community and all these Easter egg videos, it could take away a little bit where I think you might have had a better effect if you had no idea and haven't watched any theories or haven't watched any videos like that and just let that soak in. So I'm not going to discredit that. I think it's a really cool reveal. And I think there's obviously plenty more to come. But this episode, like I said, the frustrations, something about a lot of Darcy Lewis scenes are just really just run of the mill. Again, she's giving you the exposition. She's just transferring stuff so these writers can get certain information to other people. And she was, again, like I said, frustratingly casual about the whole experience where, this is her chance to talk to the superhero and Vision being an outsider. And now she's not under the influence anymore of Modern Family or whatever the hex. So it was like, come on, can she be a little more serious about this or a little pushing of Vision? But that didn't really happen. So that's when I could tell like MCU can get a little too quirky for my taste, and I think that's when it hurts it. But otherwise, it's a really solid installment. I'm going to give this episode an 8.7. Like I said, I think it's better than the first 3, but it's the first one that I would say is not on that same tier that 4, 5, and 6 have been. But like I said, I'm still really excited, still really dug it, and I can't wait for the next episode, which should be flashback, I'm guessing. We'll see, though. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of this episode. And please also let me know if you like me doing this live review version for WandaVision so I can do it right when it drops. Or if you prefer me to just make a longer, more detailed video and it comes out a little later. Let me know. I'd really like to hear because it's kind of experiment for me. But yeah, just let me know what you thought of the show. Please subscribe so you don't miss one of my reviews of WandaVision. I'm obviously going to do every single episode. I also review other shows, do celebrity interviews, and please follow me at Steve Varley Show on Twitter and Instagram for more of me. And I'll see you next time.